It won't go on your phone?
No.
No big deal.
All right. Well, there's always some tough technical difficulties. We are live. We are live. We are not live on my phone like we were supposed to be.
It's all right. We'll watch questions on my phone.
Okay. You can moderate. I will put my phone away then.
Can you adjust me?
Can I adjust you? Do you want to be seen
I
more?
want to be seen more.
Okay. Well, and we're also going to have to figure out the microphones because I don't know how well you can hear me there. So we'll wait till we get some people online.
I can hear you pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You can hear me pretty good.
Cool.
So we'll turn that volume down so it doesn't echo.
Okay. Well, I do want to try one more thing, and I think maybe if I have a audio in. I do. Let's see if this will pick it up.
Hi, Elizabeth.
All right. Evie, hey. Let's just see if our microphones are picking up. Can you hear us?
It sounds like they're picking up on the moderator,
Oh.
Miss Evie.
Let me see if I can change my microphone. It says headphones.
Says sounds good.
Okay, awesome. Then we will go with that. I'm going to turn off this other goofy gimbal. Well, I had notes, and I was going to look at the notes on
What's up,
here.
Brad? Hope you're feeling better each day, recovering.
All right. Let's see if we get a better view up here.
Better view. See our hot tub in the corner.
Yeah, the hot tub that I don't know whether we're actually going to get into.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're just getting started here.
Yeah, we are in North Carolina at Scottish. I can't even see it.
Scottish Woods Cabins.
Scottish Woods Cabins. My dad's cousin has this really cool cabin resort up here in the mountains, and this was our original plan for the trip coming up here. So
yeah, four cabins, all with hot tubs.
Yep, all with hot tubs and fireplaces. Is this too dark? This is too dark.
It's dark, but it's okay. We're dealing with what we got to deal with. You can see the trees out back. I mean, we're up north, we're down south up north.
Okay, down south up north. All right, we got Iowa. Brad, hey there. I'm feeling
Looks
better.
Like your
okay, good deal.
Is down.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. We're good.
Okay. Well, we can maybe move a little closer.
So that means I have to.
Yeah, sorry. Whoa.
I can't slide like you.
I really hope I can edit all this junk off the beginning.
There's no reason to edit your live.
Oh, I guess, yeah. All right. Sorry to make you move.
That's okay. That guy needs exercise.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks for joining us. I know a lot of people have been following along. We posted a lot of live content or short content today.
Short clips.
Just because we wanted to keep people updated as we went through the things. So check out the shorts. I'll put things together in a North Carolina playlist, but for now everything's under our channel, Moto Yogi Adventures, under the shorts. So we started out this morning with our travels out to our stop, and we thought we would have one stop, but we had multiple stops. So check those out just to kind of get the quick and dirty of how we were feeling as we went along.
Yeah, it was. I would have preferred one stop, but actually it was actually good that we had multiple stops, because then we got information from 3 different sources, which were all really. It was the same information we got.
Right.
So that's why we wanted to go live today to share those things with you so that when, not if, but when we do another run, which is probably going to happen next week, it'll probably be by myself because I'm sure you're going to be busy with your Tampa office because why not have another hurricane?
Right. So there's more coming. But first off, I wanted to start by just really thanking everyone out there. The community has been amazing. So back in Wisconsin, I mean, we had this trip planned. We thought we would bring some supplies and see if we could get them donated. And this sort of steamrolled. You took the initiative. I mean, we had this idea in the super early in the morning, and it went from being us bringing some supplies along and possibly our motorcycles for the original intent of the trip was to ride the tail of the dragon, Cherahole Skyway, and then that morphed into a hey, let's see if we can collect so many supplies that we don't have room for our motorcycles.
Oops.
Yeah. So this guy, while I was at work, went to town, as you probably all know.
It wasn't just me though. Like I made an email to Pavlina at CBS 58 in Milwaukee. She ended up doing a story that aired at like 5:00 on Monday night. So she needs a lot of credit for helping us get the word out. Leslie at Wisconsin Harley Davidson was phenomenal.
Did you reach out to them?
Dawn, Michelle, okay. Also at Wisconsin Harley Davidson, a huge shout out to them for like just basically organizing the packing of the trailer. All the workers at Wisconsin Harley Davidson, mechanics, service people,
sales guys,
the loan officer, the owner, Robert, donating a second trailer so that we could put a second trailer together and bring it in.
Because the donations were rolling in and it was going to be way more than we had to fit our trailer. We had people sharing all over social media, asking what they could bring. Wisconsin Harley kept some flexible. We had the event for packing the trailer from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. They allowed people to come early and drop things off if they needed to. So it was just a really awesome effort there by everyone. So thank you all.
Dawn at her salon had people come for like a day and a half and drop things off at her salon. And I went down to Muskego and picked up salon stuff that was filled up, an eighth of the trailer. I'm sure she'll see it. So I'm sure she's working.
Yeah. So, I mean, it really went from that into this community effort.
Yeah.
Thank you to the community, to Wisconsinites. I'm getting like goosebumps because I think it just, there's so much going on in life that is crazy and stressful. And this is a bright, positive spot. People want to help. People are good. They want to give to others and make sure that, everybody takes care of each other. It's people helping people. So the community, Wisconsin, we had other areas and stuff too. So not just Wisconsin, we had people from YouTube send Venmo, friends of ours and people we've never met before on Facebook were sending donations through Venmo. You were collecting all of that. And then we even had people ask, hey, can we buy you a tank of gas? Because now we're taking 2 trucks down there. We had to fill up every 2 hours.
Right? Every 2 hours. It was a heavy load. So
the loads were heavy. It was more gas than I was expecting. So thank you, EB. You're one of them on here, so I appreciate you. And we'll go through a thank you list later when we put together some sort of a video, just recap of everything. But thank you to all the community, all our friends and family, all of the people who took time to go out, get some supplies, bring them over, or contribute in some way. So we had a couple days of driving down. Like we said, this was originally a family trip. My parents are along. You may know my dad. He's not on here yet. I'm surprised because he's like usually always online bushwhacker.
He's probably visiting with his cousin.
Yeah. So,
I would like to
Okay.
clarify this for a second too. Like, so we left on Thursday, and there were some people that had said like, well, it doesn't take 4 days to get down to North Carolina. This was a family trip originally planned.
Mhm.
We were originally going to bring our Harley Davidsons down. We were originally spending 2 days in Nashville, then making the rest of the trip. We continued with that part of the trip because it was a special time for her dad, who is not getting around the best. So it was something that we needed to do for him. And also, when I coordinated with the emergency team in Canton, North Carolina, they had said that they wanted to give their people the weekend off because they had been working so hard for the past 5 days that they needed a break. So they actually requested that we did not bring the stuff until Monday, which actually worked out
perfect.
Great.
Yeah. All right. So we got ER Dead Zeus. It was amazing to be a small part of helping you guys out. It's a great dealership. Proud to work there. Thanks for making the drive. Safe travels home. Thank you.
That's either Michelle or Dawn.
Okay.
I'm
well,
assuming.
Thank you, ladies, and it was nice to meet you. And yeah, we will hopefully coordinate more things going forward. So much appreciated. So thanks. So thanks was the first thing on our list to talk about. And then next I want to talk about what we saw down here.
Mm-hmm.
So what you see on the news are some of the really worst hit areas where like towns are gone. So, there were pictures of, Chimney Rock, and
which is gone.
It's gone. The whole town, the houses, and
Adam in rentals. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you. Sorry. Sorry
Thank
to
you.
call you one of the girls.
Yeah. But I kind of see that as the really like sensationalized, like, let's find the worst of the worst and show this. And that's not really the whole total picture. Like, it's bad.
It is bad.
But it's not like, when I think of a hurricane and the damage. Hey, Dad. Love you too. When I think of a hurricane and damage, I'm thinking of Jim Cantori standing out there being blown sideways, and that the damage is coming from the storm, the wind, the rain. Like, that's where I always thought the damage came from, but it's really not that. And I know, they talk about storm surge, they talk about the flooding. The flooding is a huge problem. And we drove, it took us about 2 hours to get to Canton this morning.
Yeah. And I mean, visually, like Heather was walking around with the camera and showing things on her camera and doing the shorts that you can see on her channel. But the visual that the camera shows, I mean, it shows all the damage. It shows all the things on the street, but it doesn't really show what happened.
Right. So we were in Canton, and they took a set of supplies there, and then they sent us to another church actually in Canton. And then Canton, the church there, sent us to the fire station in Clyde, which sent us to another place. So we'll talk about that a little later on how the donations worked and where the need lies. But really looking at, I got a chance to talk to the fire chief in Clyde, and the fire station, they wrecked pretty much all their gear.
It wiped out their fire station.
Yeah,
with the exception of the trucks.
Yeah, the one truck was damaged, and they ended up getting the engine repaired like right away. ServPro came in and did massive cleanup like right away. But the water was like chest level, so there's a line where it shows the water line, and the fire chief stood next to it and said, "This is where it was." So that everywhere. And when he showed me, the bay where trucks are, it's concrete, it's whatever, but there were piles of computer equipment, file cabinets, all of their equipment that they had in all of their offices that was just destroyed, but they had to leave it sit there because the insurance adjuster hadn't been out yet. So some of these families, and I'm not sure.
I'm sure these piles are going to be sitting there for weeks.
But some of that is there because it needs to get checked out before they can dispose of it. But then he took me in where the office was, and everything's gutted down to the studs. The drywall, there was about that much drywall at the top, and everything else gutted. So you think of a flood coming in and all of the mud and dirty water, and then that's just soaking into everything you own. So seeing that, the fire station, so all the furniture, all the things that they had to take and throw it and get out of there, and they are down to the studs with dryers and whatever. So now you've got to clean up the water, you've got to clean up the mud, you have to throw out your furniture, your bedding, your clothes, anything electronic is gone. So
anything that got wet is done.
Right.
Because it's going to be moldy or.
And that's not the stuff that you see necessarily on the news, like initially. So, and that's kind of invisible, right? It's in people's houses. The structures, a lot of the structures are still standing, but everything in it needs to be replaced. So these people's lives are just upended. It's
pretty devastating. Like it doesn't, it's hard to put into perspective. Like, I mean, imagine going into downtown Oconomowoc and seeing 4.5 feet of water on the city street up to windows of all the buildings in downtown Oconomowoc.
Yeah, and all the basements would be full. That's and
all the basements are full.
I'm not sure they have basements here.
The first levels would be all full of water. Everything 4.5 feet on that first floor is junk, gone.
Yeah. So that's kind of things. We did start to see some piles of drywall and things out at curbs. We didn't really get, drive into any areas because we still had the trailers. We're probably we're gonna go back tomorrow and bring some more things, but we're not gonna have the trailers with us. So that'll be good.
We might get interrupted here real quick. Here.
Anything more about what you observed? Like there's mud everywhere.
Oh, mud is everywhere.
Like the roads some of the roads are really clear and some are not. Oh, hey, do you want to join us?
Come on, no? Come on.
What is everybody else?
Derek's inside the cabin and mom and dad are at their cabin.
Mom and dad are at the cabin.
Around 7:30 down at the party going for food.
Okay.
Sounds good.
See you then.
Food at 7:30.
All right.
All
right.
Yeah, thank you.
That's our cousin. He just stopped by to say, hey, he and his wife are making us dinner tonight at the Scottish Woods cabin. So
might be a little drinking involved too.
Looking forward to that. I do need a drink after today. I think we deserve it.
So observations. So as we were driving so the area that we're driving into is it's a big valley. It's a big mountain. I mean, it's forged by a river. The rivers look normal at this point.
Yeah.
Like everything's back down to normal. The water didn't look murky or muddy. It actually looks clean, like mountain spring water and mountain fed water. People were kayaking down the river. Everything kind of just looked normal until you get into the cities that were low lying in these areas. Now, and again, I can't just. Clyde was devastated on Main Street. Like it's everything in its on that whole street that the fire station is on is.
And we couldn't. They had roads blocked off, so we couldn't go down farther from where we were. But
tomorrow we're gonna adventure a little bit more. We do have now. We got rid of all of our supplies. We did go shopping and got more supplies that we spent about $600 on, and filled the rest of the bed of the black truck.
Then we wanted to wait to see
what they really needed.
Can I circle back before
we
get into that? Just one more observation. In this hilly country, there are houses here, and right next door there are houses here, and businesses and whatever else. So, where Clyde was at the fire station, the fire station was washed out from everything inside of it, but they moved things up into the church parking lot, which was
maybe 50 yards away.
Right, but it was 10
also
feet higher, right,
yeah,
or however.
10 feet higher.
Maybe not.
That's about accurate.
So in an area where you had flooding, where it was 6 feet or 10 feet or 20 feet or whatever, there's people who are really affected. There's people who are not, because they were up a little higher. Now,
Mhm.
they were affected because water quality was compromised and obviously electricity and other things, but not with the flooding. So,
And again, these are some of the outlying areas. Like these
Yep.
are the small towns. These aren't the big cities. I think Clyde was a population of like four, or well, I think what was the first one we went to?
Canton.
Canton. Sorry,
Was it Canton?
it was Canton.
I'm like,
Canton has a population of 4,000 people,
okay.
so not a huge city. Asheville, which is 20 miles east of there, is a huge city, and that was decimated.
Yeah.
Like
and so some of these supplies, people are coming from the outside areas
Yep.
to get, or people with a way to transport, with
people that are
UTVs
up
or
in
whatever
the mountains.
can get
Yeah.
things. So the need is there, and the supplies will be consumed for quite a while. I think I don't have any other observations from that standpoint, but what I do want to talk about is the donations and what we saw as far as that, how the communities are pulling together there. Number one, there are donation sites all over the place, and they are all in communication with each other in their, local, the next town over, the next town over, the next town over. So if you have one spot that is lacking in donations, they're calling these other churches and community centers, and they're saying, hey, we really need this, and then they find someone, and then they so they're working together. So that's what we ran into a little bit on sort of the flip side, donation side. We stopped first in Canton, and we had them unload huge all our trailers. They said, we don't need any more water. And when we walked in that warehouse or sports complex,
thanks, Ryan,
there was so much water, right? So so everybody tended to donate like the one thing.
That's easy,
right?
Water.
So we started asking, well, what do you need? And at this location, they needed laundry detergent. They need
feminine products.
We had another location. They said they need adult diapers. These are things that you aren't thinking.
Sterile gloves.
Sterile gloves, right? And we brought some. But let's see, what did I write down that they needed? So with donations, they had a lot of the same thing. They needed laundry detergent, adult diapers, new clothing. They weren't able to really take used clothing.
They didn't really take clothing at all. At this point, clothing is not really, I think in a couple weeks, they're going to be more focused on winter clothing because it's going to get cool here quick. So people are going to be without that.
Yeah, so they said they really need propane, like the small camp containers, the big camp containers. They need stuff to cook with, so grills and charcoal. They need hand sanitizer. We brought a lot of jugs. A
lot of hand sanitizer.
But they were big jugs, and they said, well,
they need the little bottles.
They need the people to be able to have the pump bottles. So that was something they needed there.
Gift cards.
They talked about gift cards because as they rebuild and they need to refurnish their house and get chairs and beds and whatever,
they need to be able to go to their local furniture stores or their Walmarts or their Lowe's or wherever to buy furniture to put back in their home.
Yeah, so Walmart and Lowe's and other big box store gift cards are fine, but some of these communities are really small and they don't have that close by, but they do have a local supermarkets or local furniture stores. And like I said, some of the businesses, some things are up higher, they weren't affected.
Right.
And so you really just never know, but to be able to have a Visa gift card or something generic like that they can also shop local and support local and get what they need where they need it, because people will need to replace beds and
it's just about replacing things at their schedule and at their time when they're ready to replace those things. So it's not like we can bring a bed or bring obviously you're not going to do that because it'd be too hard, but
right.
So with that being said,
are we talking
one more thing? Go ahead.
I was going to say, are we talking about the things that they cannot take? Like soft things.
Yeah, soft things.
They don't want soft things.
No stuffed animals. No.
Although we did find a church that would take the stuffed animals.
So Miles, 7 bags of stuffed animals went to good use.
Yeah, so those will get handed out. Clothes new clothes may be okay, but again,
Has to
not-
be new.
not the
Yeah.
not the thing. They cannot take prescription medications.
Nope.
They said a lot of people were coming in. So when we came in and we said, hey, we have medical supplies, they're like, what do you mean medical supplies? Because like they had someone try to bring insulin. And as much as that's like well intentioned, it's illegal to get these prescription drugs and bring those things in. And they said, really, anything that's like a hospital supply that the hospitals would be using is not really what they need. So they were looking more for like first aid and, but the gloves and the emergency blankets and things that we brought, they were happy for that they could use, and some of the gauzes and things.
Ryan, everything's been going to my Venmo as far as supplies for the people. Anything, if anybody donated gas money for the cause, it went to Heather's Venmo.
So then I can keep that
I'll
separate.
send that to you in a little while.
So I also, by the time we put out some sort of video, I want to put together some names and local things, because we had a few contacts, they had other contacts, and I we worked with Brandy and Byron at the Canton.
Yeah.
And then Brandy said, well, hey, these 4 bags of equine food, right? Someone donated some horse food, and they said we won't be able to give that out here, but there was a equestrian center that was doing supplies for horses, and we were going to take it there, but then another guy said he would take it. Oh. So I think it's important when you think about donating and you want to do that, we call ahead and say, what do you need? Because they have specific needs of things that they're lacking, because they have a lot of donations already.
Yeah. I'm just going to put this in the comments for gift card stuff and supplies. So
okay,
that's why I'm doing this.
Okay. Do we want to talk about gift cards?
Yeah. So gift cards are going, it was hard because we didn't. So again, we had money that we had accrued, which was about $2,100 that we had taken in donation. 600 of which we have spent on more supplies
to fill the back of the
before
truck
we left
bag.
Nashville, because we didn't want to take away from the supplies that were already here.
Yep.
So with the $1,500, tomorrow we're going to go back into town. Now that we've been there and know that it's relatively safe, we are going to take her parents.
Surprise, Dad, if you're still watching. If you would like to come,
if you would like to come, you don't have to,
and come help out.
Yeah, we're going to take them into town, and our plan is to get $1,500 worth of gift cards. Some might be Walmart, some might be Visa. We'll see how that plays out. Maybe we'll do 50-50. But we're going to give out $1,500 worth of gift cards tomorrow. And we're not going to give them to specific church groups or specific groups in general, because we want to make sure somebody's getting them.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to go into town. We're going to drive around, and we're going to find houses. We're going to find people cleaning out houses, and we will approach them and we will document it, but we won't necessarily publish it unless they have permission from them. But we're going to gift them $100 cards, whether it be Walmart or Visa or whatever it may be.
Yeah, at least
so that they can use it, because most of the stores now are actually recovering and they're starting to open. They do have electricity, so that the card readers work. So those things work so that we can do that.
Yeah, we had good cell signal, which I was surprised.
Gas stations are open, so if we give them a Visa gift card, they can use it for gas. We were at the one gas station before we left here. They actually had 2 drive-offs, probably because people just didn't have the money to pay for them.
Yeah.
Like they were there investigating 2 drive-offs just before we got there. So we want to help those people. We don't want you to get in trouble or go to jail or anything for drive-offs. So we're gonna try and do a little bit and help those people. So I think moving forward, like I had messaged Leslie at Wisconsin, Harley Davidson. I know Adam's watching. So I had said, we're going to do another trip. And I think that's going to happen next week. Now, we do have another hurricane hitting Florida that's going to be really bad. But I think Florida is more prepared for these things.
Yeah,
I
don't know. Well, I don't want to speculate.
I don't either, but
I feel like from what I've seen on TV my whole life, I really didn't know what this was like. So I'm happy that we got a chance to come down here. And yes, if people have more donations, because I think some things still got dropped off, and we want to make sure that they get down here. Also,
but we want to focus on the things that they need.
Right. So we are going to be in contact with the people down here. If there's any numbers or things we can pass along, because I know other people are traveling down with trailers of stuff. So, so we're kind of just playing it by ear as we go. But we had, with the other donations, we also didn't want to just buy a whole bunch of things that we thought people needed. We felt that since we have the time down here, we can actually ask. So we're not just getting things that aren't going to be used. So that was kind of the plan there. And then also, we did not run into any issues. We didn't have any issues with roads.
No.
We didn't have any issues. I know a lot of people were reaching out and messaging and saying, hey, we want to make sure supplies get to the people, because they've heard some things about government organizations such as FEMA not getting things to people and hindering the flow of supplies. And I know there were a couple stories and things that I heard, but there is this impression that this is like, I don't know. So we asked people, because
we asked a lot of questions.
We asked a lot of questions. We talked to some people. We talked to one gentleman who didn't want to be on camera, so he's going to be anonymous. But FEMA was there, he said, before the hurricane even hit, and sort of helping the area prepare, and they are in there helping out. I think the piece of it that's a problem or perceived, or what causes this perception, is that there's a lot of red tape and process. And so things don't seem to happen quickly. And so when there's a need and you just need to fill it, the community is stepping in and taking care of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's not red tape. There's not red tape when we fill a trailer and come down and
we didn't get turned away.
Center.
We talked to state troopers. They were very helpful.
Yep.
We talked to government officials. They were very helpful. I talked to FEMA, and they were helpful and gave me numbers to government officials.
Yeah.
So
I think, all in all, everybody is helping out. We as citizens can do things a little bit more quickly, because we don't have to cross our T's and dot our I's.
Yeah.
So,
but we still need to be cognizant of what they need. Like, used clothing is not what they need.
Right. But giving something to someone who's going directly down to an affected area, it's going to get there right away. It's not going to be stuck in a warehouse somewhere not being handed out. So
And for the record, while you say that, as we were unloading trailers, there were people coming down and picking things up and leaving. There was one pickup there that left with a bed full of supplies that they needed.
Yeah. So in Canton, when we got there, we left early in the morning, so we got there 10:30ish, and we had to pull around back. We waited for another truck that was donating, and then started with one of our trailers. They said during the weekend and the previous week, and they would expect it. Yeah. It was just kind of a steady flow of people coming in to get things. So they just had a area where you'd kind of check in at the state rangers. The
state rangers were checking people in.
Yeah. Kind of, you'd go in and they would let you pass in, and then there was an area where people would pick up. So then the volunteers were talking with the people who came to pick up supplies, figuring out what they needed, and then they were going through the warehouse to each different area that it was separated.
It was set up like a shopping center. Like, it had laundry in this area. It had
cleaning supplies
food in this area,
personal items, toilet paper, water. So they would gather the supplies needed, put everything in buckets and bins, load up people's vehicles, and they'd be on their way. So that was cool to see. I helped unload. You guys helped unload the trailers. and there's so many heavy things, and I just went through and helped sort.
Which reminds me, plastic bins were huge.
The plastic
They
bins were
loved
awesome.
those.
It made it good in the trailer, but also they can use those to give to people.
Yeah, they can put care packages together and
Yeah.
say, here you go.
So care packages, I know we had Dan who put a bunch of care packages together. I think that they are probably splitting that up and categorizing it. So that
I'm
was
sure,
sort
yeah.
of a lesson learned too. If you're going to donate things, organize them. This is all bleach. This is all laundry soap. This is all toilet paper. So separating those, because the volunteers go through and separate everything out. And it appeared to be the same sort of process at all the places
Yeah.
that we went.
Yep.
And then that way it's like, they go do a, shopping.
Yeah.
So
yeah, anybody have any questions? Do you have any more? I mean, really?
Yeah, I mean, it was a long day, and
it was a long day. It was a long week.
Yeah.
It was more than I bargained for, but I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I'm gonna do it again.
Yep.
So
what would we do differently?
I don't know that I would do anything differently. I think I would stand to my guns a little bit more and be like, okay. And I probably would research it heavier and call these people directly instead of just going by a list that somebody put on the internet. Because that's what we did. We went by a list that somebody posted on the internet and said, these are the items people need. I would probably call the area, get a hold of the emergency person in charge and say, what do you need? What do you need me to bring? We will bring it.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing on the second one. I talked to them. I said, and they actually had a list at Canton too on a whiteboard that said what they needed was most, and what they didn't have is what they needed.
And that was like, that was there. They said laundry soap and
charcoal
products.
and grills and
charcoal and grills wasn't on their list, I don't think, but there was another group, and on their list of needed items, that was the charcoal and stuff. Propane, small and big things of propane, because people need stuff to cook on. So
and obviously they need grills too.
Yeah, but that was at different locations, right? Because what they had collected in one area is not the same as what they collected 10 minutes down the road.
Right.
So
so I think on my next trip I'm going to concentrate on charcoal, I'm going to concentrate on grills, I'm going to concentrate on gas cans, I'm going to concentrate on propane, feminine products. I still think personal hygiene is going to be a must, like toothpaste, toothbrushes.
But you're going to check before.
I will check again before, but if people want to start, like I know Leslie was talking about having people start bringing stuff in now, so that like when I get back, we can load the trailer and go again.
Yeah. Derek, who's with us, he's bopping around here somewhere, drove our other truck. So thank you. Huge thank you to Derek for that. He is a farmer up in Green Bay, and he said a lot of the farms up there were interested in donating hay because they need it down here. So while we've been down here, he's been researching different, what's happening with livestock. I mean, he might, So, I mean, doing the research, figuring out what people need and making sure to meet those needs. Because we might think we know what they need, but they're the ones here.
And it changes constantly.
Yeah.
So it changes week by week. So, and if they don't need the charcoal here next week and I bring it down, I guess I'll just go to Florida.
All right. Well, we'll see how that plays out. But again, thank you. I don't see any questions, so I just really appreciate everybody being here, following along. At some point, I'll put a video out to show more of the, the details in the areas we're in. I know today the shorts were just kind of a quick say, hey, here's what's going on. So.
Yeah. Again, thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody that donated, whether it's gas money, supply money, whatever it was.
And who do we have on here still? So EB, thank you. Candy, thank you. Ryan, hi. got Adam still, Brad. And then I got to do the YouTube thing. Make sure you like and share, get the word out, and well, I think we're gonna sign off. You have anything else?
No, I have nothing else. Just keep doing good.
Yeah.
Keep helping each other out. You know, we're in a country where things get divided real quick with politics and everything else, and it's unfortunate something like this has to like kind of bring us all together. It shouldn't be that way.
The floodwaters don't care what side you're on. So
I don't care what
love
side
your neighbor.
I don't care what side you're on. I'm going to help you no matter what.
Love your neighbor and help each other out. People helping people. That's what this shows, and I think it's good. So have a good night. We're
Peace
gonna
out.
sign off. Thank you all, and
Stay tuned tomorrow because she's gonna have more shorts, and we're gonna go try and brighten some days.
Yep. All right. Peace.
Bye.